Okay, so we're back again. Yeah. So right now we are cutting out the main body of the ammo pouch. So in the end, kind of want it looking like this, but you also want to wet the leather and get it some weight down on it. I use some weights, obviously. So now, ooh, uh, hopefully that's okay. Let's see. We're just trying to do a little bit of a step. That's not bad. Okay. We take our scratch all, and then we start scratching. Oops. Scratching the leather. So this way we can run the razor blade around it. I know this isn't the best view. If I had a camera person, I would use them, but I do not. I'll definitely do some how to do this how to use a scratch all in a different episode, but we're just going through this real quick. All right. Now you don't have to dig down too. You got to put some pressure, but like not too much. You're not jamming it in. But and also you can make some compromises as things go. You want to kind of like move things around. I mean, it's not going to be exact, but it'll be pretty doggone close. What you want is these little like areas where it's cut. You're going to have to do a lot of skiving on this because you want everything to kind of fit together nice. And we're going to push this forward. If you're going to use like weights or metal weights, the problem with using, I'm just going to go through some topics with metal weights, is that they will stain if you leave them long enough. They will oxidize with the leather. You get stains on your fingers, very similar. And hopefully, now I will cut this out much nicer. Some of this is, all right. I'm pretty sure this is good to go. Yeah. Ugh. I'm just doing this today just to get something out a little bit. Been lacking. Push those out of the way. And yeah, here we are. Here is this. Here it is. Let's see. Can you see it? Oh yeah, we can see the scratched out pretty good. So this is where. Oh, this part didn't get. Let's see. This part. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you gotta use the ruler. Might have to do a little trimming. Yeah. Yeah, it's got a little funky thing on the end. I didn't get this. Hopefully this will line up again, which it probably will. So you just find a point. You kind of get that reference point right there. And you might have to like push in a little bit. Especially around these like funky parts. All right. Ugh. Because the way this goes together, you'd see bump and then it kind of like stitches on. Ah. All right. This is not going too bad. So you could try to cut it out with this big piece all floppy like this. I don't like to do that. That's just, it gets too complicated when you want to move it around to cut it. Don't try to force yourself to do something like that. It never goes well. So first things first, you know what we're going to do? We're going to mark this out. I'm going to take this, throw the mark down. Okay. Now, see this? All right, this is a very important type of ruler. It's got a cork backing and a steel front. You got, you know, America measurements, and then you have these centimeters or something. Yeah, centimeters. You got euro and you got freedom units. So that. All right. Oh. Looking for the big knife. Yeah, sometimes. So yeah, just cut the piece out. Yeah, you're gonna have lots of scrap. And I know that we all want to kind of like save scrap, but you know, it's tough out there because you want to, like, you know, conserve as much product or material as possible, but sometimes making life easier, having this cut out, because these pieces, these complicated pieces, they definitely need more. It's gonna be a tough way to cut. Ugh. All right, put that away. See, now it's more manageable. At least for me, this is like lessons I had to learn the hard way. So now we got this piece out, and I like to kind of just take my big Johns right here. And just slowly like boop. Just start somewhere. And then I just start cutting around. Yeah, this is an X-Acto knife. Now this kind of can take a little bit. So you find your most comfortable spot. Hopefully I'm in the thing. Yeah, I'm in the thing. So you find your most comfortable spot, and it's going to change, you know. That's why I cut this down a little smaller, you know. You just take it and slow. And we're not going fast here. Just nice and slow. Don't Don't think about it too much. Just enjoy the cutting. You take your knife and you just zoop. Now, I probably need a new blade. Now, you could take your razor blade. I feel like it's cutting kind of slow. You can always take it and just maybe that'll work. You get some polishing compound on it. A lot of times it's just easier just to buy these in bulk, you know. And if it doesn't come out perfect, and that's why you have there's like some essentials. This is an essential tool. You need this and a cutting mat. Yeah, these things take a long time. That's why I'm not a big fan of making ammo pouches. I feel like they take a long time. You got other guys who are like doing their leather business. It's hard to run a leather business, I'll tell you that. Sorry, there's not a lot of talking in this one. This is like full concentration. And starting to lose sight over here. There's a lot of like glare, but what you can do is sometimes, you see, I want to kind of cheat and use one of these guys. That's not going to work. And grab a better knife. Oh yeah, this is much better. Slowly but surely. It's going to take a long time. But if you take your time, you know, if it's a little jagged, that's what the sandpaper's for. That's why we're gonna do. See that? That was a mistake. But I caught myself. You can see this is pretty sharp. Cut myself a little bit. That's why we don't do things late at night anymore. Too many cuts. Too many cuts on yourself, you know? I think this is just getting unmanageable right here, so I'm just gonna try and get these big chunks off right here. Just nibble away at this. Oh. I mean, sometimes you can find uses for your scraps, but in general, you don't. want to get this a little lighter. Ugh. I'm just pushing down a little. Oof. Hell yeah. We got this going. Let's do this. All right, 1, 2. See, sometimes these edges, you just gotta like, all right, there we go. It's just like a few little grumbas on these. Shove the blade in here, and then you can slowly, if it's a little damp, but take your time. Just let the blade do the work. Don't go nuts. It takes as long as it takes sometimes, you know. Like, it's a sad, you know, guys are like, ah, but they want to get all their stuff done, but it takes time, you know. Sometimes people are like, oh, I got all the time in the world. In reality, most people, it's like, doesn't matter how good you are. You know, you could be the best, let's say, welder on the planet, but if you're not fast, don't mean anything. I mean, you have to be good and fast. People don't want to wait a long time. People are very impatient. And that's okay, because you know what? Some people are like, they'll take forever to do something. And you know, sometimes it's just, you know, if you're trying to like get something done, but you have to wait on this one project, like building a house, you know, it's like if you have the best electrician in the world, but you know, if he can't get done in a reasonable amount of time, slowing down the framers and let's see what else, slowing down the finishing people, you know, like you're slowing down not only the painters, but the drywallers, everybody, slowing down everybody. I'm not picking on electricians. I'm just thinking of something that people do, you know, that's time consuming. It involves high skill, and it's not always as fast as people would like it to be. You know, like, oh, why isn't this guy done yet? Doesn't he know that I'm on a Ww1? Just using that as an example. All right. I know. Yeah, talking on this makes me it's helping me move it along, you know. All right, we got this. Yeah, I'd probably get more views if I talked about something other than, you know, nonsense. But that's okay. We're not in it for the views. We're in it to share, because, you know, it took me so long to get anywhere with this whole system. I just want to save some new guys some time, dude. You know, just spending years and years wasting time on projects that could have been done a lot more efficient if I would have had, you know, a channel that explains stuff a little bit better. Ugh. Sometimes just like explaining stuff isn't the best because you think like, oh, common knowledge. But, you know, there's no such thing. I don't think so. People like common knowledge. Ugh. Yeah, this is taking a minute. See, I could see. Sometimes you don't have to go over all your lines. You know, you could sometimes just boop. Oh, get this out of the way. Just nibbling this right now. Now you could do that if you don't have Japanese skiving knives, which you need. You know, I am a huge fan, and yeah, they're pricey. I'm gonna keep going over this, but it literally like changed my game. I got really excited. I'm watching other dudes do their YouTubes, and I'm just like, man, I could do that. And I thought about it, I was like, man, if I don't share this stuff now, like I could die. Not that I'm like, you know, the master at this, but I'm just like where a guy should start. You know, you have all these like fancy. I know that I'm like, oh, you don't really need that. You could just start with like a box cutter, which is true. I mean, you can start. But the reality is that like guys want stuff to look good. That's the whole point, you know? And learning how to skive is like is super important. Otherwise your stuff does not look good. And the whole point of it is for stuff to look cool. For you to go, when you go to your, I don't know, we'll just say reenactment or make a purse or a belt or something for somebody else, or, you know, it's Christmas time, we're just going to use a whole bunch of stuff. And you want them, because you want to flex, just like in everything in life. Flexing is 90% of the reason why people be doing stuff. You know, it's to show your value. Or, yeah, I mean, it's great to have the desire to want to do something, but everybody likes flexing. You gotta flex. You know, like, we're just gonna see. I don't have to like think about this too much. I just hit it. That's why I love this thing. All right, where's okay? We're a little blind right here, so yeah. Ugh. Oof. We're almost done now. Yeah, I switched over. I made another one of these before. I've never, I'll be honest, this is the first time I'm ever messing with ammo pouches. Mostly because I always felt like they were kind of hard to do. Not that they were hard to do, but they're a lot of work, more work. But if you can't find the ammo pouch you need or want, you're kind of stuck. Trying to find some dude who's like kooky enough to want to do this kind of stuff, because most people don't. Most people aren't going to want to like make an ammo pouch. Number one, it's super time consuming. And it's probably not. All right. Well, that's all cut out. We're moving along. We're moving along great. So, gotta let this dry up a little bit so I can sand the stuff. These pieces. Ammo pouches are a lot of pieces, so be prepared for that. Sometimes the part doesn't come out perfect. You know, you gotta hit it with a sander to get it to a point where it's looking good. And with that, I'm out. And I don't like to say like it, subscribe, all that, but whew. But just do it. Do it because you're cool.